The U.S. Army All-Shore Gridiron Classic is the longest-running high school football all-star game in New Jersey, and the 34th edition of this game will feature tradition, family ties, and a fierce competitive spirit. It's a showdown of stars from Monmouth and Ocean counties. Monmouth has a 4-game lead in the series and is looking for its 3rd consecutive victory. The Monmouth County quarterback is Mike Felpiano, a name very familiar to New Jersey fans. His father, Phil, won a Super Bowl back with the Oakland Raiders.
He always tells me stories about when he used to play, and he mentioned this blue-gray game where he went out and made a bunch of tackles, and he was like, yeah, that was the biggest moment of my life. He realized what he can do. Hopefully I can learn something from this game. I'm loving the practices, they're fun, all great guys, and I just want to have a good experience out of it.
Telling Michael the other day, this is a big honor. Don't go out there and mess around, go out there and play serious football, but have a good time, but also put on a good show.
When these two teams meet, yes, you can expect a very competitive game. You could call it a sure thing. I'm Mick, MSG Varsity. From Bergen Catholic High School, it's game time on MSG Varsity. Tonight, it's what some are calling the wrestling match of the year as South Plainfield takes on Bergen Catholic. Hi everybody, I'm Mick, joined by Steve Levy. Glad you could be with us for some New Jersey wrestling action tonight. It's going to be a great matchup as South Plainfield comes in arguably the #1 team in New Jersey in Group 3. Bergen Catholic, they're the odds-on favorite to take non-public A this season. And by the way, Steve, both teams are nationally ranked. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, these two teams are terrific.
Steve, this match is going to be a little bit like an earthquake because when it's all done, the shockwaves are going to go out through the Garden State and across the country as well. We'll come back with our first bout of the night at 160 pounds as South Plainfield takes on Bergen Catholic right here on MSG Varsity tonight. This past fall, we saw the Wayne Hills football team debut their all-black uniforms. And now the Chatham Cougars ice hockey team has gone the alternate route as well. Alex Ratter and Connor Nelson came up with the idea and the design.
Well, yeah, me and Connor really wanted the New Jersey. I mean, it's a new year. We're all trying to get pumped up for states, and we just want to do something to be different than everyone else.
My dad actually pitched the idea at a parents' meeting, and they saw the design for the jersey, and they loved it. Everyone loved it. Everyone said, oh, we're getting those. So actually, once we got past Mr. Cohen, it was fine.
Coach Harvey Cohen has been behind the Chatham bench for 38 years and has won over 500 games. Yet he was not superstitious about changing the look, but he did have one request.
All I said to them was, I am a traditionalist, horizontal stripes, please. And they came up with that rendition of the jersey, and one of our former goalies, Jonathan Foster, helped them come up with it, and our assistant coach, Frank Gilberti, his company, produced them. And the varsity, the JV, everybody on both teams wears them, and they're terrific.
Adds a little excitement to the program?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we come out, everyone notices that we have something different about us. Everyone's taking a second look at us, so hopefully they get distracted from the hockey part and look more at our jerseys.
So are you guys now trendsetters when it comes to fashion?
Oh, of course. Definitely. I mean, we love them, so we hope everyone else does too. We put them for a good cause. We gave a little breast cancer awareness ribbon on the side up here. And they came out great.
Those jerseys are definitely fashionable, and Coach Cohen even says when they play, he'll supply the pink tape for their sticks. How about that for fashion statement? With the Chatham Cougars, I'm Mick, MSG Varsity. For the Piscataway Chiefs, the numbers don't lie. A 12-0 undefeated season, 34 unanswered points in their 7th state championship win, a 34-6 victory over Hunterdon Central here in Piscataway. The most impressive numbers came from sophomore quarterback Nadir Barnwell. He ran for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns and was 6 of 9 passing for 117 yards and 2 more scores.
We had to play big. We had to step it up. We had a slow start. We have a saying, start fast, finish strong. We knew Hunterdon was going to come out strong. They're a well-coached team, so we knew we had to play big.
He showed senior maturity. He's a special kid. He plays with poise, and that's what good quarterbacks do.
Barnwell not only drew praise from his coach, but from the team's upperclassmen.
That was probably the greatest performance I ever saw. He did excellent, and I'm real proud of him.
He did great. He really came through for us tonight. He was the icebreaker, as we call it, for the game, so he was really good.
And after giving up an opening touchdown to the Red Devils, the Piscataway defense settled down, forcing several 3-and-outs.
I think when we first came out here, everyone was a little bit overwhelmed with the setting and everything like that. But once we settled in and just did our jobs, we handled it really well.
Your team was down 6-0 in this game. Is there ever any trepidation?
No, not at all. I mean, we just played 4 championship-style games to get to this point, and we're ready to play for 48 minutes.
When it's all said and done, how are you going to look back? What's going to be the one maybe play or one thing about this year, this game that you remember the most?
Running on the R with all my teammates, running on them, hugging them, showing them love, knowing it's our last time being in these pads for a while, especially with the seniors, the last time being with them in these pads in the locker room. I think the locker room is what we're going to miss most. A lot of things happen in the locker room that create memories.
So once again, the final score, 34-6, as Piscataway defeats Hunterdon Central for the North Section 2 Group 4 state championship. At Rutgers Stadium in Piscataway, I'm Mick, MSG Varsity. Time for sports, and the theme was Quack to the Future, complete with a DeLorean and a flux capacitor. The Mallards have returned to the Quad Cities. A few hundred fans turned out to lend their support to the new owner, Chris Lencheski, the founder and president of Ski Motorsports, a NASCAR racing organization. Now, he hopes to use his skills from Victory Lane to turn around hockey in the Quad Cities. Well, now that spring football practice is over at Iowa, the coaching staff has to evaluate Bettendorf's Colin Sandelman. Well, last year, Sandelman had 6 receptions for 76 yards and 2 touchdowns. This year, he should see significant playing time at split end. I went one-on-one with Colin after practice Saturday and asked him, where's he going to fit in?
I'm just trying to fit in wherever the coaches want me, and wherever they want me, I'm willing to do whatever.
What have you worked on specifically?
I'm really trying to focus on my routes and trying to be more consistent with my routes and my reads, and just catching the ball.
That includes fielding a couple punts as well, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love catching punts, and if they got me in their plans for that, that's awesome.
And just when the Quad City River Bandits were starting to hit, they got rained out yesterday. They were off tonight before starting a 4-game set in Beloit tomorrow. The last night on Quad City Sports Spotlight, I asked catcher Charlie Cutler and second baseman Aaron Luna if this 2-day layoff comes at a good time.
Personally, I don't think it is. I'd rather save those rainouts for a little bit later in the season, but we'll take them when they come.
Aaron?
Exactly. I would, totally agree with what Charlie said about that. I mean, when you get kind of a hot streak like this going, you kind of want to keep it rolling, but at the same time, it is, good for some of these guys that are kind of dinged up to get a day, day off and, ready to go Tuesday.
And finally, my sources tell me the Alleman High School may hire a new boys basketball coach. School doesn't have any official comment right now, but that could happen soon, so we'll keep you up to date.
Stay tuned. All right. Thank you, man.
Hello and welcome to TPC Deere Run. I'm Mick Mollinghoff, and today the pros arrived as the John Deere Classic is in full swing, and those tour professionals wanted to get in some quality work today and get familiar with their surroundings. And it really makes no difference if you're from Franklin, Kentucky or Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Every year there are minor adjustments that are made to the course here at TPC Deere Run. Each player has to find his own comfort zone, and that holds true for Zach Johnson. The former Masters champ knows the terrain, and today he enjoyed his walk with Kenny Perry.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was casual, We had a little game, too. It's a little jabby, but that's the way it's supposed to be.
And Kenny Perry, the defending champ, took his swings today with Zach Johnson, and the way they were jawing, it's a wonder he didn't take a poke at the former Masters champion. It was all good-natured kidding, but Perry says the jabs were flying out there.
Oh, Zach and I go way back. He's always trash talking me all the time. Seems like every time he trash talks me, I play good. So he needs to keep on doing it.
Now, don't forget, we'll have interviews with the pros all week long because we are the official station of the John Deere Classic. And tomorrow night, starting at 6:30, our first edition of the 19th hole. Live at TPC Deere Run, I'm Mick Mollinghoff, WQAD, Quad Cities News 8. Jay Lehman is a force on and off the field. He's a man who's not afraid to speak his mind. Recently, I went one-on-one with the man who makes the Illini go.
There's one thing that this year in college football has told a lot of people, and that's the experts don't know much. And it's no offense to any of you guys sitting around here, but we can't listen. We can't listen to what people say. You got to go out and prove yourself every day, no matter what.
Have you allowed yourself to relax a little at the Rose Bowl?
I mean, I've enjoyed it, but I don't ever let my mind wander too far from the game because we're here to play a football game. I'm not here to go to Newport Beach and chill. I'm here to to win a football game.
Is there any one thing about the Trojans that kind of, I wouldn't say scares you, but has you concerned?
Yeah, definitely their big playability. I think that they got guys that can take it the distance. You miss one tackle and then they're gone. And, you know, that's something we're going to have to contain. You got to wrap them up and bring them to the ground. You can't just try to pop them because they'll bounce off and run for 60.
I guess it can't be much more simple than that. The key will be to limit those big plays. In Pasadena at the Rose Bowl, I'm Mick, WQAD News Channel 8 Sports. Every day that Chase Utley comes to the ballpark, he knows that his name will be in the Phillies lineup card. But how much of a change was it becoming a full-time second baseman?
To tell you the truth, there's not that much adjustment, other than the fact, for the most part, you're going to be in the lineup every day. Before I came to the park ready to play. Now I do the same thing, so there hasn't been that much of a change.
Back surgery for anyone can be a scary proposition, including a finely tuned athlete. But Smith wasn't worried. In fact, he said he did his homework.
I did a lot of research on should I do it, should I not do it. You know, the doctors told me the success rate and all that stuff. You know, and they said pretty much as far as back surgeries go, mine's is pretty typical. You know what I mean? And I felt good about that. And you know, we went through it, and I feel great.
After boarding the Flyers' R.J. Umberger on Wednesday, the NHL suspended Rangers forward Ryan Hallwig for 3 games, costing him over $7,500. Umberger was able to finish that game, and today at practice told me he felt fine.
You know, I don't feel too bad. I feel pretty good. Vision's a little blurred, but not too bad. It didn't affect me on the ice today. In the mornings, it's probably worse because sleeping overnight, but throughout the day, the eye opens up better, and I can see right now it's taped up, so it shouldn't affect me too much on Saturday. You know, my head feels good, and I didn't feel any lethargic or anything.
So Umberger's injury looks worse than it really is, but he may have been able to avoid it altogether by wearing an eye shield, something his coach recommends for all players. The atmosphere is one of anticipation here at the ballpark. Like you say, right now, the Phillies are 3 back of the Reds in the wild card standings as they open a 3-game set.
What would you like to do, aside from being a football coach? There'll come a day that happens.
I don't know what I'm going to do, and that's probably one of the reasons why I may be reading something into my relationship with the squad that goes beyond just being a football coach. I don't know what I want to do. I know one thing. I don't want to become an old man.